Yo, what's up YouTube? Alex here, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I made over $6,000 betting on Monday Night Football. So I had 12 bets total. I went 5 and 6. One of the bets pushed, which just means if, it ties, you get refunded. And I made $6,000. And I'm kind of going to break down, the purpose of this video is to be educational, kind of show you why I placed these specific bets. But I do want to be clear, all of these picks were given out 100% free on Twitter or Twitch. So some people have asked me, yo, can you make full-length YouTube videos giving out your picks? But I don't really like to do that because they take a while to make and then edit. And by the time I post the video to YouTube, the line may have moved or the odds may have changed. And sports betting is about finding value. So if you want to tail my picks, I give them out for free every single day, 24/7 basically, some nights really late at night, but on Twitter as well as on Twitch. Twitch is just a platform for live streaming, so you can kind of tune in and place bets in real time alongside me. But the first thing I want to mention is I had wins on a variety of sports books. So I use a ton of sports books, and the reason that's important is all books set their own odds. All books set their own lines. So as a sports bettor, we never really know which book is going to have the best bets, the best value on a given day. So for example, I had a 2-pick parlay on Rebet where the final leg was Chiefs minus 3.5. So that was a main line point spread bet. Rebet is a sports book that's available in basically every state. I mean, I don't want to say every state, but I think it's like 48 states or something insane. It's available. You can use it. So I was on Chiefs minus 3.5 because Rebet was offering the best value on the Chiefs. And I really liked the value at minus, 133 where I bet it. So I played it. On the other hand, I had a parlay on FanDuel and I included an MLB pick. I also had some bets on a sports book called Fliff. Fliff is another book that I like to give out plays for on social media, on Twitter as well as Twitch, because it's legal in so many locations. Like you think about FanDuel, FanDuel's only legal in like 20 or so states. Fliff is almost every single state you can play on Fliff. Granted, not every single state. But regardless, the point of this video is just to kind of explain, although I use a bunch of different sports books, why did I place these specific bets? Right? I think it's very helpful. Like when I was starting to learn poker, I watched a bunch of the best poker players in the world kind of recap their hands, explain why they did certain things. So hopefully you find this video valuable. And as always, if you enjoy this type of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment any questions. The purpose of these videos is to be educational, and obviously I want to make the best content possible. So if you have other video ideas, drop them in the comments. I'm trying to do more YouTube videos on a weekly basis. So first things first, I get a lot of questions about bankroll management, which I obviously think is super important. When I started sports betting, I used the Kelly criterion to manage my bankroll, but a lot of these books have different max betting limits. So for example, on FanDuel, this MLB NFL parlay I showed you, they only gave me $500, so that's what I bet it for. And the same thing on Rebet. I probably would have bet more on this play on the Chiefs minus 3.5, but they only gave me a max of $200 on this play, so that's all I played it for. So long story short, like sometimes it's a little misleading. Why did you bet $50 on this versus $500 on this? And it's basically I'm just taking the max that the sportsbook is giving me. But the second thing I wanted to mention is all of the sports betting strategies I use, they're data-driven and they're proven to make money long-term, right? I'm not just betting on random stuff with my gut. I don't bet with my emotions. I don't bet with my gut. That doesn't work, right? 99% of sports bettors watch sports and they bet with their emotions. They all lose money long term. Sports betting is really about, I love sports, by the way. I'm not saying I hate sports. I love sports. But if you want to make money sports betting long term, it's about getting an edge and understanding data, understanding markets, right? So I'm not saying everyone needs to be a super nerdy sports bettor, they shouldn't gamble. Who cares if you're only betting $20 a week with your friends? But if you want to take your sports betting seriously, you want to level it up and try to make money long term, you got to put in the work to learn about these sharp, data-driven, proven strategies, understand the math behind sports betting, understand how sportsbooks work. So for example, the first play that I locked in a 2-pick parlay, if both of your bets are profitable, positive ROI, plus EV, have an edge, however you want to think about it. If both of the bets in your parlay are plus EV, then your parlay will be plus EV. A lot of people say parlays can't be profitable, and that's completely untrue. It's true for most people, right? Most people lose money on straight bets, so they get killed betting on parlays. A parlay is just a combination of bets. So most sports bettors lose money. So let's say their ROI is minus 3%. That means for a 2-pick parlay, their ROI long-term will be roughly minus 6%. You just take the 3%, you multiply it by 2. On the other hand, if you're a sharp, profitable bettor, you'll actually have a higher ROI for parlays because your edge compounds, which you'll kind of see. Again, this bet tracker that I use, it's a verified public bet tracker. You'll see any bet I ever place on this bet tracker. It's called Pickett Sports. And my parlay ROI this year is higher than my straight bet ROI. So it's basically just personal preference. You can play things as straight bets. You can play things as a parlay. What's really important is just understanding how to get an edge and if a bet is actually plus EV, has a positive ROI or not. If the bet is plus EV, it'll be profitable in a parlay and a round robin, whatever. It doesn't really matter. All a parlay does is increase variance. But anyways, let's get back to the picks. So the first pick I was on was Xavier Worthy over 2.5 rushing yards. So this bet ended up cashing. He had a 3-yard touchdown run. And I really liked this pick, especially with Pacheco out. The Chiefs have to get kind of creative. Rice is injured. But also, that's just sports knowledge. I wanted to think about this bet from a data-driven perspective. And what you'll notice on Fliff is they were the only book that had Worthy's under favored. Fliff had his under at minus 125. So they had more juice towards the under. So essentially, Fliff's model has the under as the favored outcome, the more likely outcome. Now, as a sports bettor, there's hundreds of books posting lines, so you essentially have hundreds of data points, other market data points, telling you where a line should be set. The sports betting market is super inefficient, super fragmented because all these books are setting their own lines. So what you'll notice is every other sports book had Worthy's over heavily favored, including Bet Online, which is known to be a really sharp sports book. They have really accurate lines. Is they had the over as a minus 153 favorite. So again, even if you don't use Bet Online, it doesn't matter, right? You're looking at other books' odds as a source of information. Bet Online is telling you, hey, we think the over is a much bigger favorite at minus 153. So Bet Online, they're taking all these bets from sharp, profitable customers, adjusting their odds accordingly. So I pulled up a line movement chart. I noticed Bet Online had ripped Worthy's over from being like a minus 120 kind of split decision to being a minus 150 favorite. And most other sports books, if I looked at a line movement chart on OddsJam, they actually moved Worthy's rushing yards line higher to 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. So long story short, I followed the data in the market and realized, hey, Fliff, they're stale, right? They're still offering great value of positive ROI on this wager at minus 120 on Worthy's over. And what you can actually do is take a sportsbook's market and remove the VIG. So again, some books had Worthy's line at 2.5, like Bet Online. So there was no line discrepancy. Fliff had the line at 2.5, so did Bet Online. Every other book, like FanDuel, had moved Worthy's rushing yards line higher to like 4.5 or 5.5, which again are data points telling us, hey, maybe Fliff has their line a little too low, but it's all about price. So Bet Online had the over as a minus 153 favorite. They had the under at plus 118. All these books make money by charging a spread. In this case, Bet Online, they had a 35-cent spread. all these books make money. They're market makers by charging the VIG, charging a spread. So what you can do is remove that spread, remove the VIG, remove the juice to back out the fair odds, right? The way a sportsbook makes money is they have models. They're taking all these bets and kind of adjusting what they think the fair odds should be, right? Let's say the line is 7.5 on the Chiefs. If all the action starts coming in on the Chiefs, books will move lines towards the Chiefs until the wagers are roughly 50-50. That's not perfect, but you get the point. So essentially, BetOnline had the over as a -153 favorite, so they're telling us, hey, we believe this really should be priced at -132, right? That is the no VIG line, the fair odds with the VIG removed. Other books had the line higher in the first place, so I realized, hey, I really like this play on Worthy, and I ended up going in on it on Fliff. Now, again, I follow a super data-driven perspective, so this may not make a ton of sense to a lot of people, but I was on Worthy's under in receptions, which is maybe a little interesting to some people. Wait, you were on his rushing yards over, but you were on his under in receptions? And yeah, both of those bets I thought had really good value. Both of them ended up cashing. Now, one thing I obviously want to make clear is I didn't win every bet, right? I went 5 and 6 and 1, so I had losing bets. But again, like, everyone loves to focus on the losses. Oh, you're such an idiot. Why did you take this play? But nobody wins every bet. Nobody has a crystal ball and can see the future. It's all about finding plays with an edge, letting the math work itself out. So I had this PrizePicks slip, for example, that lost. And, you know, that's just kind of how it is. Like, people love to zone in on every loss and just be like, oh, you're a losing bettor. Why did you take that under? You're so stupid. You should have taken his over. But really, like, nobody knows the future. If I knew the future, I would be a billionaire because I'd know exactly what to bet every day in advance. But anyways, then I had Kareem Hunt's over. I gave this parlay, this crazy parlay, out on a live stream. Again, I do live streams, give out my picks for free. I was on Kareem Hunt's over, so I gave out that play as well. So long story short, I really think this bet on Xavier Worthy, the over and rushing yards line, how I used market data, is pretty insightful for how I think about my sports betting, using market data, treating every other sports book. There's thousands of sports books in the world. There's sports books in Canada. I'm not in Canada, but I still look at Canadian sports books because they are data points, right? These are other books that are taking wagers from all these Canadians, adjusting lines according to where sharp, profitable bettors are placing bets. And you can still look at a book as a source of information, even if you don't actually bet on the sports book. So anyways, basically, I just had a bunch of data-driven bets. Most of them went the right direction for me, or not most of them, but especially the biggest ones, and I ended up ahead on the day, especially from this Kareem Hunt parlay. All of the picks I included in my parlay were plus EV. So my parlay was plus EV, positive ROI, had an edge, however you want to think about it. But anyways, I really hope you found this short video helpful on just kind of how I was able to get these results, how I think about my sports betting. Again, please let me know video ideas you have. I love making sports betting content, so any video ideas that you think would be helpful, I'm happy to do. And again, thank you so much for your time.